No, I'm trying to show you like what it takes to do what we do. Like our profession or our hobby is expensive. It is very expensive. Your network is your net worth. That's the biggest thing. That's how Mensah Memories has grown. My first challenge was finding the right, I guess, business structure in terms of payment. These companies have budgets for the year. Like the budget might be 100,000, it might be 50,000, it might be so on and so forth. It's a crazy world we live in that people think it is okay to want to pay somebody, $250 or $150 or $350. Even $500 is low, right? When it comes to what we do, because I feel like there's so much hours put into it.
Mm-hmm.
You should do it for free versus like lowering your price, because now you just lowered your value. It takes time, like
Right.
a lot of time. Someone might come shoot for 3 to 4 hours, but to put together that 1 minute video might take 6, 8, depending on how creative they're being with that video. I seen a creative online. He posted a video. It was like 30 seconds. There was a lot of things happening in it. It was a really good video. He's like, this took me 3 months for a 30-second video. So it's like, you got to respect the craft, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, to answer your question, when it comes to the whole aspect of financials and money and, building a business, people have to really tap into the business side of creativity. And it sucks because you might have to step away. I know you said it to me like, damn, like, Lou, I stepped away to learn the business side of it. But now that I've learned it, I have that in my arsenal, and companies are willing to pay more. Now I know.
Right.
Like certain things, I'm gonna give you guys a gem. Like, I don't really go out and be like, oh, I charge this. Rare occasions. I know we spoke about that. I usually ask, what's your budget? Because now I know what I can deliver. Not that I'm gonna do something less, but I know what my scope of work should be, because I understand my scope of work and what I'm gonna do.
Right.
You might go and say to somebody, yo, my price is $1,500, and they want you to do 20 different things. And that's happened to me before. And I'm sitting in front of the computer cussing, like, should never did this. Like, just delete the project and just go ghost. What they can do? Like, fight me? I'm big. No one's gonna do that.
And the thing is sometimes, and creatives, like, this was just a gem, because when you continue to run that race and you get miserable from the work that you're doing, it leads to burnout.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Like, there was a short period of time that I was not enjoying this, because I felt like I was overexerting myself. And I want to tell this to all the people that want to hire creatives. Like, I strongly believe in paying people their price. That's what they believe they're worth and their value. And maybe if you don't think they're worth that, go to somebody else that you think, if that's the price, that's what they're worth. Because like, it's just a weird thing where you go and you tell someone a lesser price. It doesn't, for me at least, if I'm going to do something, my the approach to that project is not going to change because you paid me less. I'm not going to do less of the work. Like, I'm not going to, for lack of better words, make it shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, because at the end of the day, I'm still attached to that
Right.
work. I'm going to do my best to make sure that every single time I try to outdo me. And I look at other things like yourself or other creatives in the city that does something like, yo, this is sick.
Yeah.
How can I like add this into my scope of work to make my stuff better, right? So for me, it's like, when people think of a lesser, like paying someone less, it's like, do you think that makes sense? Because that person is going to put in the exact same amount of work. I'm going to put in the exact same amount of work. Nothing is going to change on my end, right?
Mhm.
And then it, leave it to the discretion of that creative to say like, hey, you know what? I understand your budget's not off. I can do it or I can't do it.
Right.
But understand what they charge. Like one business thing I understand now is like, whenever I send an invoice for somebody, and if I do discount it for whatever reason, I send the invoice of the actual price, so you see what
Right.
it costs,
Okay.
and then I just
Hey.
deduct. So they don't lose they understand the value. They never forget,
Yes.
like, okay, this guy's worth X amount of dollars. Like, I'm just shooting a number out there. Like, this guy's worth 2,500 for this project, but they only had 1,700. So I'm just gonna deduct that difference. So you'll see it in the invoice, so you know that, yo, I just did you a favor. The work is gonna stay the same. I did you a favor for whatever reason, right? But one thing I've learned, and I sent you that the video, is like, you shouldn't lessen your price, right? You shouldn't, but you rather, like I was saying, what's his Vushane? Vushi? VUS?
VC.
VC, there you go.
Yeah,
So he
yeah,
goes,
VC
like,
podcast.
you're better off doing it for
Hey.
free, right?
Other one, plug that one out. Yeah, there you go.
Should be a plug on the side over there.
Okay,
Okay, cool.
perfect. Yo, yeah, and that's honestly, yeah, I think, yeah, that's deep.
He actually said you should probably, he's like, you should do it for free versus like lowering your price, because now you just lowered your value. Because now if I did something for someone for, let's say I charged 700, I did something for someone for 350, they come back again, they're gonna be expecting 350.
350, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
bro, I
They're
paid you
like, why you
350.
charge? Why you charging me more
Yeah,
now?
why are you charging me more? Even though you told them like, yo, I charged 700, but
Yeah,
like, okay, I'll do it for 350 this time. Some people respect it and come back next time, correct? But most people,
and
fam.
you know what it is, and you know what's funny too. Sometimes it'll be like, yo, I'm gonna charge you this, but don't tell nobody. Tell people I charge you this.
Yeah,
Like, yo, just like what you said, charge that price. You just gave them a discount.
yeah,
You just did them a favor.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
the next time they know that
It's not a favor.
it ain't a
You
favor
know
no
the
more.
price
You
now.
know that this is just the one time thing.
The
Um,
biggest thing. Yep.
what are some of the challenges that you face in this industry as a creative?
Oh, my first challenge was finding the right, I guess, business structure in terms of payment. Because when you start entering into, so when I first started shooting, I was obviously shooting a lot of parties and like events and so on and so forth, and people are just paying you cash. So like, you take the 350, the
Mm,
5 bills, the 7 bills, the this, the that, the third, you just take it. You don't have to worry about that. And then now when you step into the business of things and you start working with corporate companies and they ask, hey, what's your HST number? What's your this? What's your that? I'm looking at them like, huh? Like, what are they talking about? Oh, yeah, send us an invoice and this. So my biggest thing was learning the business etiquette of sending an invoice. And then also, what's my pricing structure? Like I said, at first I would just be like, oh, I charge this much. Until I started realizing, look, these companies have budgets for the year. Like, the budget might be 100,000, it might be 50,000, it might be so on and so forth, and you just went to them and told them you had, oh, $500 is what you charge.
right.
Meanwhile, for that project, it could have been 2K. Like,
Mm,
so my biggest thing was trying to learn the business etiquette in terms of talking when it comes to pricing, but also just how to carry myself, like branding and so on and so forth. Like, I used to go a lot of events, maybe I'll be in sweatpants and dressing like an athlete. Now when I go to events to shoot, for the most part, I'll be in a golf shirt, and getting branding with my company branding on it, and just the way you carry yourself, introducing yourself to people. Like, the hardest thing was, I like to stay in my shell. I'm an outgoing person when I want to be. And I like to be in my shell. I'll be quiet. A lot of people used to make a joke like, yo, you move like your security. Like, you be standing around looking like
yeah.
security. And it's just like, I'm a person, I think this happened because of the injury to my eyes. Like, I just like to just be very aware of my surroundings. Right. So I'd always be quiet. And my biggest thing is, your business doesn't grow if you don't grow. So for me, I go to like events as a creative, as a business person, and you need to interact. You need a network. That saying, your net worth is your network is your net worth. That's the biggest thing. That's how Mensah Memories has grown. It's been being in the space and going to talk to people. It's funny enough, and I have to use Ebon because I was around Ebon for 10 years, 11 years straight. We just used to, that was the grind. Now that I think of it, I'm like, damn, this has been 10
Mhm.
years. The grind has been
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah.
And Ebon always be like, yo, this is the guy from Nike. This is go talk to them. And I'm, fam, just go talk to them for me. Like,
Mhm.
nah, if you want to grow as a creative or a business, you got to take hold of that thing yourself and make it happen. So the biggest thing that I've learned, or the hardest thing, was really putting myself out there no matter what it was. If it was garbage or really, really good, or if I made a mistake, just putting yourself out there. That was like the hardest thing for me. And people might look at it and be like, yo, what, bro? You were just out there and doing it. You think I was out there and doing it. I was faking it till I make it, which is a horrible thing to do
Yeah.
sometimes. But like, it worked in my favor, if you want to say it though, right?
Beautiful.
So
So, like, man, this we could go for. So let me like. I'm a, like. I'm a hit you. How much is in your equipment case?
damn, I'm deeply invested right now. And probably, if I'm a lot to some people, 50K right now
Okay.
in my equipment case. And I still have a bunch of lenses to pick up, which is gonna run another 20K, just under 30K.
'Cause I remember you showed a post and you had to let people know.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
guys are coming to me with trying to shoot for a bill of 50 when I'm
Mhm.
paying all this money.
Yep, yep, yep.
I seen the receipt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had to, it's funny enough, like, I was getting so frustrated with all the talks from creatives. And I feel like the creatives just talk amongst creatives, like videographers, photographers, and so on and so forth, cinematographers, whatever. they talk amongst each other like, yo, like people don't want to pay, they just this and that, and then we just accept it. And
Mm.
like, I don't know if it's the football player in me or my aggression. I'm just all my friends like, you're so emotional. I'm like, no, I'm not emotional. I'm just direct. You know, like you can't come to me and I'm telling you, look, yo, I charge 700 or 1,000 or 2,000, and you're saying, fam, we only have 250. I feel like so disrespectful. Like, you know, so I had to show people like, I want you to make it make sense. I'm gonna come to your event with a camera that costs $6,000, a lens that costs another 3 to 4,000. Lowest, let's just say lowest, very good lens, 2 grand, right? The
The
SD,
lowest 2 grand.
yeah,
Ain't
the
a
lowest
biggie.
is 2 grand. Like, you know, like even if you're saying I'm gonna go buy the camera with the kit lens, if you broke it apart, it would still be like 2 grand, 1,500. And then to go from that to the SD cards, $300. The little card that we put in the camera for the camera to record your content, $300. And people want to pay you $300. The battery, another $200. So it's like, if they don't know, they don't know. And
Mhm.
like, I was battling myself to post that stuff because they'd be like, oh, look, you have the money to buy it and this and that. But it's like, no, I'm trying to show you like what it takes to do what we do. Like, our profession or our hobby is expensive. It is very expensive.
Mhm.
The laptop we edit on, anywhere from $2,000 plus.
And I get mine maxed out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? In order to move with the speed, SD, these things right here, these hard drives, $200-300. You know, so if you
Hey,
start
like
racking it up,
this table alone is probably like 10 grand.
it's more than 10 grand for real. Like, so if you start to tally it all up and you like, put it against what people are trying, and people in the city, like corporations, obviously they'll try to pay the lowest they can within their budget, but their lowest is still like in thousands. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when you do these stuff for people doing parties or birthdays and so on and so forth, and I get it, some people don't have the money for it or so on and so forth. Understand what you're doing when you're asking that person to come out of their house, gas, their car, Uber, whatever case may be, and then the time they're going to spend to edit that. So I might come and shoot something for 4 hours, 3, 4 hours, go back, edit 6 to 8 hours, 12 hours. But on top of that, all the stuff that I have. And people might say, like, well, you chose to invest in this stuff and chose to do this. Cool. Now I'm telling you what my value is. It's inclusive of all the stuff that I've bought, but also the time that I spent to become who I am within this space right now that caught your eye enough for you to say, I want to hire you to work with me.
Mhm.
So it's like people just got to get it. Like even the case we use to carry our thousands of dollars is damn near
Pretty
$1,000. You
much.
know, like it's funny. Sometimes I'd be like walking around places and I'm like, man, I'm a walking lick right now. Like people don't know that all this stuff is so much. And like it's crazy. Like that's why I'm so protective. Like I'll go certain places depending on where it is with the least amount of stuff. But now if I know it's like a corporate event or so on and so forth, I'll obviously go more and have more. But it's just it's a crazy world we live in that people think it is okay to want to pay somebody, $250 or $150 or $350. Even $500 is low, right? When it comes to what we do, because I feel like there's so much hours put into it,
Mhm.
right? And it's never really about, like, I don't do it for the money. It's the money is a result of everything I've done to get to this point. It's like byproduct of everything, right? But at the end of the day, gotta live, gotta survive, got
Pretty much.
mouths to
Yeah,
feed and
yeah,
things to
yeah.
do, right? So yeah, man, like
Wow.
there's a
So
lot.
so like you on this journey right now, like who are some people that like you look up to?
Oh. Shoot, you one for sure. Like from when I started, like I said, you're number one that I was looking at. Um, who else is there? There's a couple of creatives. So like you're one. There's another guy on Instagram. His name escapes me right now. Does a lot of stuff with After Effects. Like it's just his
Mhm.
techniques. I think he's from Germany. Um, he's doing really well. I follow as well. Um, Funny enough, there's some young guys that are younger than me that I look at. Like I said, like Sparks. Half the time, if I don't know something and I don't ask you, I'm going to ask Sparks. Yo, how do they do that, or so on
Mhm.
and so forth. And then honestly, I pull from everybody. But like when I got into it, definitely a lot of your work I looked at 100%. Sparks' work I looked at 100%. But then there's so many different creatives within the city and around the world that I tap into. And it's funny enough with my Instagram, I used to like get all like obviously you're going you're tapping with beautiful women and this and that and the third. So I used to always see that
Mhm.
stuff or party stuff or the weird stuff. And then I was like, yo, I need to really dive into my craft. So I started just following a lot of creatives. Like a lot of my following is creatives. Like I just follow because I pull inspiration from every and anything.
Right.
Right. So there was a young boy named Steven Van. He's from the city. I was watching a lot of his stuff. He's doing really well on YouTube. There's another kid named Siobhan Salmon.
Mhm.
Hopefully I'm not butchering his name. He's from Toronto. He's not really doesn't shoot stuff for other people, but it's his own content. And I just love the way his content is very clean, sleek, simple. Another thing is that I've learned through this journey and looking at a lot of different creatives is less is more. Like
Okay.
before, I used to be doing all these different transitions. Now I just leverage what's in the frame to make the transition or to pull a person in. But yeah, like there's not a specific one person that I look up to. I pull inspiration from literally a lot of different people. But like I said, bro, and I'm not just saying this because we're on camera and we're here right now. Like when I started, it was you, fam, 100%. Like that's what when I got into this space, I said, "Yo, who do I know?" And it's good to look at the big names, and I'm just gonna like Tyler Perry or so on and so forth. But one thing I've always thought to myself is, how can I find someone that's close enough to relate to, but far enough to motivate me? And I felt like that you're
Mm.
that person. Like you're close enough that I can call you, but you're far enough within this space that it motivates the hell out of me, right?
Okay.
And that's like you got to find someone like that in order to get to the next level, like close enough to relate but far enough to motivate. And it's like we had the
Love that.
close enough upbringing, like growing up kind of the same neighborhoods and so on and so forth, and then we're in the same space of what we're doing, but then you're so far ahead, it's like you've already created a path, so it's like all we gotta do is walk it, right? So
Mm.
yeah, man, that's
Love
pretty
that.
much it.
So like to wrap it up now, like what piece of advice would you give someone looking to take that leap, man?
Jump. I just like Nike, just do it. Like there is nothing to fear but fear itself. And I know that's a quote from somebody. And honestly, I think I could have been so much better so much sooner if I just did. Like,
Mm.
just do it. You only can get better through failure. Like you said it when you were speaking. Like, you're only going, the best teacher is experience and failure. There's no way, it's not like failure is not opposite to success. You know what I'm saying? Like, success is a byproduct of failure. You know
Hmm.
how not to do something. I did this, damn, I shouldn't do this again.
Wow.
Like, like, and the more and more you fail, the quicker you'll get to success. That's why I truly feel like I was doing a lot of different stuff, failing at it, maybe not getting somewhere on time. Then I was like, hey, yo, what if I get to this place on time? Damn, okay, I got in time. Everybody happened there before. People I can set up. My brain can breathe. And like, yeah, just you gotta do it. Don't be afraid of failure. Like, out of everything I've done, like irregardless of what space was in track, football, dancing, in this space, man, I failed a lot. And like, now that you're asking this question, I'm thinking like, damn, like there's a lot of failure on the way to where I am right now. And I'm not even, I've made it somewhere to acknowledge, but I'm not nowhere yet. Like not even close to like where I see myself. Right. So an advice to somebody will be like, just start, just do it. Don't be afraid of failure. Failure, and fear itself just cripples people. And the
Mm.
worst thing to have is regret. And that's one thing that one of my mentors told me when we were dancing, that dance company. I asked him why he wants to pay for the football for me. He said, I'd rather you go through life doing it and looking back being like, damn, like I did it and didn't work out, but like I did it, versus getting to an age, or his age at the time was like 50 or whatever, 40. He's like, get to my age and you're looking back like, man, what if? Like, what if?
Mm.
That's the worst feeling. So, to eradicate what ifs, do.
There you have it. I mean, hey, we're not going no further with this one. This was amazing. Thanks for
Yeah.
sitting down and
Come
just
on, man.
giving me this time, creating this value, dropping the gems,
Man,
bro.
appreciate that.
I am inspired.
Oh man,
I'm
look.
telling you, I'm inspired and I'm watching and I'm
Pre-
rooting for you, brother.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'm
Love.
telling you, brother. Like, hey, before we even cut the cameras, man, I gotta give him his flowers, because honestly, he's paved the way for a lot of creatives in the city. He was doing it when nobody was doing it. When this stuff didn't look pretty. Everybody's doing it now because it looked good. It gives him the accolades. This guy was doing it because he passionately liked to do it. Like he wanted to do this. He wanted to create and create a different space. So like I can only think of two people that were in this space doing it, was you and Director X. Literally,
Wow.
like I can't think of, if someone was to ask me, me personally cannot think of anybody else. So like, yeah, bro, like I want to give you your flowers because
Hey.
you're someone we look up to and you're so humble about it. You act as if like, nah, bro, you there. It's like, nah, bro, you there.
Well, we here. We here.
100%,
We
man,
here.
100%,
Love.
bro.
All right, boom, bomb.
Peace.
We out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
up?
I mean, I know we're talking about numbers, and you're like, oh, what do you someone is paying you less?
Mhm.
What if someone calls you in for exposure?
Calls you in for exposure. Honestly, I feel like, so someone just told me this, director OJ. So he shoots for Sock with an African artist. He's pretty huge. Um, there's two ways to look at this. I sometimes look at it disrespectful when people say, "Oh, it's gonna give you the exposure. It's gonna give you the exposure. Give you exposure." It's like them not really valuing your talent, right? It's gonna give you exposure. No, if you believe this person is good, compensate them something. I don't care what it is, something to show that you respect and value their time. Now, on the other spectrum, if it's something you've never done before, I would say use it as an opportunity to learn and grow. So despite this exposure, like someone's like, yo, like, hey, come shoot my wedding and whatever. They're gonna be like, we can only have the budget to pay $500 for a wedding. Weddings are a lot. If you never shot a wedding before, let them know, hey, I've never done this before. It'll be a new journey for me, but I'm down to do it. Then I'll go and do it because now in the other aspect, it exposes you to that environment. So exposure is good, but when someone tries to use that as a way of not to pay you, I think that's kind of disrespectful and I wouldn't go for it.
And I would just throw it in there. Who's really giving the exposure?
Yeah, that's also very true. That's very true because you're behind the camera.
I ain't on camera.
Hey, I didn't even think about that. Look, see, that's what I'm talking about. He's so much further ahead. Like, hey, that's so true.
Hey, so
Because
think about it.
yeah, like, you're not on camera.
I mean, hey, I'm because of what I'm going to do for you, it's going to give you exposure, which is going to bring you more value,
build your
which
brand.
is going to take you to another level. What do I get?
Yeah. Like the trade-off is like, it's
What is the
one-time thing
trade-off?
for him. Yeah.
And then that's where you kind of throw it back on them. I'm in this space of throwing those things back.
Yeah.
Throwing it back at them,
Make it uncomfortable.
Yeah, make it uncomfortable. Like, I'm gonna give you exposure. Like it's gonna be exposure for you. So let's talk about how we make it beneficial to the both of us.
Yeah. That's an amazing answer. That's
And that's a wrap.
that was good. Shit.
Yeah, I love that.
That was a good question.